And I'm going to start sharing. My dog. Can barely hear you, bro. Say something again. Oh, you sound very far. Man, Reggie, don't come in here already talking trash, bro.
I still sound far, bro.
No, you sound good now. You sound like the professional that you are.
Sound good now. So,
like the professional that you are. I'm gonna share real quick before we get started.
You see, do you got the same error message I got?
Yes, sir.
So you supposed to. It's like a way you got to do that. It's cool. We ain't gonna worry about it. Trial and error. But basically, next time before you go live, you open up what's it, Yellow Duck or whatever.
That's what I did. You know what I think it's really gonna have to be?
What?
I think it's gonna have to be that like I've been scheduling these posts in advance. I think it's gonna have to be an instant thing.
Oh, you talking about like soon as we go live or
Right. Like I can't schedule the post in advance because that key is only good on the Instagram side for so long.
yeah, it's only 2 minutes.
Yeah, and I scheduled it, 6 days ahead or whatever, however long it's been.
Okay.
And I think that's the thing there. So I think when we have an episode without guests that I don't pre-schedule it, that'll probably be our opportunity to try it again. And everybody's watching like, what?
Yeah.
Before we get started.
So you see, you got. Oh, okay. I was about to say, but yeah, it's all good. How you doing, Reginald? Shanina.
Shanina.
I was gonna.
I wonder.
I would. Yeah.
I'm usually good at.
I seen stuff and I was like,
Yeah, because I wanted to go nine, and I ain't know if I need to go nine, and I was like, I don't want to be disrespectful. I stutter until they catch me. But how y'all doing today?
Doing well. How about you?
Good.
Okay.
That's good.
So I've been calling y'all the Griffins the whole time. Am I wrong?
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. Look, we roll with the flow.
Yeah, it's all right.
I seen it when you sent me the post. I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna.
You should have. You sure should have.
Because I was just like,
Interesting.
Man.
My bad.
It's okay. It's okay.
It happens. It's okay. How are you guys doing tonight?
I'm
We-
doing well.
No complaints over here.
I'm doing well. Any day I can make it in here and kick it with my bro, it's all good. Always
There you go.
glad to have some guests. You know, this is just kind of, you know, a good time. Always a good time. Anytime we can, you know, meet up and chat it up. So I love this part of the day. Every Monday.
It feels like it's been so long because last week we did it on Sunday.
Yeah, we did.
That one day, it's just like, man.
Hey, but it's all good. It's crazy though to think that we used to do it on Saturdays, and then we went to Sundays and back to Saturdays, and then we hopped to Monday.
We've been all over. Before you hopped on, I was telling them about, because we were trying to get their audio working good, and I was telling them how, like, if you listen to the very first episode, which we just relaunched it on the Facebook on Saturday. So if people want to go back and listen to that, please do, or listen to it on the podcast feed. But I was talking about how, so that first episode, Fred, if you remember, I was out of town. I was out of town for work, and so I recorded that in my hotel, and I just used the speaker and the microphone on the laptop. There was no headset. There was no like actual mic or anything like that. Ooh. I'm putting this in places that don't belong. I'm just over here just going. But like my audio was just absolutely terrible on that episode.
But it's okay now. You got better setup situation going on now. So
yeah.
Oh yeah, over time, you know.
One episode at a time.
There you go.
Shout out to Matt who gave us the little tidbits that he helped us with early on.
Yes, Matt. He was featured on our best family game episode, one of my favorites.
Okay.
And for those that listen to us on the podcast, when you hear that, hey, yo, what's happening at the beginning, that's him. So he a real one. He's been supporting us from day one.
Awesome.
It's good when you can find support.
Most definite.
Yeah, definitely important.
I think I am done. I am. So everything is freestyle, like I said to you guys earlier. Fred and I are gonna have I see I gotta turn these comments off because my boy Reggie in the comments is a fool.
Yeah. I was gonna say something, but I was like, I don't know. Maybe they know.
When I say turn the comments off, I mean like I gotta make it a full screen so I don't get distracted with the comments because I'll be and that's one of my homies from high school, man. We talking 20 plus years. So like anytime I see him say something, man, I'm gonna be silly and I want to stay focused on the conversation. So Reggie the Don, I appreciate you, bro, but I'm not gonna see your comments unless Fred put it on the screen, and Fred will put it on the screen because he petty like that.
Well, nah, I ain't gonna lie. If he come with something pertaining to the cast, then yes. But you know what I'm saying? Some things I do bypass myself, and sometimes we get too busy in the discussion that I don't, you know, kind of see it till late. So it's an all the above thing, you know, for me. But it won't be anything that's not pertaining to the cast. I can tell you that much.
Okay.
So the way that we do it is we got our little intro. Fred, is that your fan out here?
Probably is. I mean,
You know what though? I don't think I hear it on the podcast feed, so I think it's okay. I think
will
Spreaker
turn it
cleans
back
it up.
up. I will turn it back up.
I ain't trying to have you slip in
you
that Kentucky garage.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you. You seen how it was that one episode, boy. I
Man.
probably lost 5 pounds and I can't afford it. So,
So what we do is Fred and I do a little quick introduction. We talk to each other. You guys just hang tight. We'll figure out a way to introduce you guys into the conversation. When I say it's freestyle, it's freestyle.
and
Okay.
when I say we got to figure something out of how to be able to go live into this conversation and just add that on, because I'd be like, man, we've already had 10 minutes of good convo, and now here we are. You know what I mean? Just starting the podcast. I'm like, come on.
I be using these cold opens all the time. What you talking about? Matter of fact, this is gonna be a cold open. Welcome to Whus Hattnin. I'm Brad.
I'm Fred.
It's the show we talk about what's happening. What's happening with you, bro?
Hey, chilling. Hey, just hit a milli on my reel, so I'm kind of amped about that. Only got 7 reels out here, and I hit a milli. So, shout out to Pops. Your car dope.
That's dope, bro. You got 1 million views. When they gonna pay you that money, though? That's what we trying to figure out. When does that check?
I didn't get that invite yet for that part. So until then, I'm just having fun with it.
They said you got to get 2 videos there. We don't trust you.
I'm just following the guidelines. I mean, I ain't do nothing special.
Oh man. Nah, man. That was dope. I was glad when you sent me that picture earlier today. Same here, man. I'm just chilling, man. I'm excited, man, about this episode here. I'm excited for the next few weeks of what we got going on as well. You and I will talk about that offline. But
hey, I'm always last to know, y'all. As y'all see, I'm always just in the comments with y'all, because I swear he say we're gonna talk about it offline, then he gonna come on the next episode talking about, well, Fred didn't know, he just met him right before we got on, and it's a freestyle. That's what a freestyle is.
And y'all know he said it, but just last week he talked about how we had a whole message about last week's episode with, who was going to be involved and whatnot. And he said, I saw it. I just didn't say nothing.
Because I didn't have no content to add. I told the people that I didn't have nothing to add. I didn't have Aang on there until we got 5 minutes into the cast.
Look here. Y'all was tripping. Shout out to Rich and Jamal from Unapologetically Black. Appreciate y'all stopping through last week. And shout out to our guests today that we have. We have Reggie and we have Nina. How y'all feeling?
Feeling good. Doing good.
Yes, definitely. Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Now we're happy to have you guys, and you said you're doing good, and that's what we're here to talk about. So you guys are going to talk about what it's like to be a couple that's also in business together. Tell us a little bit more about your business and why it's important, and then go from there. I told you the comments gonna distract me, bro.
Like, hold on.
I just had to play with you, but hey, Terry, it is for real.
No, that's what's up. So, Reggie, Nina, whoever wants to take the lead, I'll let you guys get started introducing yourselves to the listeners and go from there.
Okay. Ladies first.
Well, I'm Nina. I'm the other half, the important half of the business. I'm I'm the business, everyone says, and my husband is.
I'm the brains, I'm the brains. When we sit down and talk to people, I'm usually the one doing most of the talking. So, but I find that we have a good balance between our 2 skill sets, so it works out.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's dope. So, tell the listeners what you guys do and how you guys got into it, and go from there.
Okay. So we're in financial services. So specifically, we're in the life insurance space. We got started in February.
Hmm.
February of this year. We the company that we're working with is PHP, and we're on our third promotion. Third, yeah. So we've gotten 3 promotions within the company, so we're excited about that. But we educate people about life insurance and what it can do, because generally speaking, most people that we talk to just knows about the death side of life insurance, right? So they know if something happens to me, my family's gonna get some money to bury me, and that's like limited limited knowledge to that, right? But it's so much more than that.
Yes, yes, definitely. I believe it was you, Brad. I was talking to, and I said that yes, people helping people. Yes, um, it's very important to have life insurance outside of work. A lot of people think you're everything is okay. Oh, I don't need it. I got it at my job. Well, let me tell you something. You need it outside of your job because they're not it's they're not for you. When you leave or you pass away, your family will go through HE double hockey sticks to try to get your money.
Hell and
Yeah.
And
high
we know
water.
firsthand.
What was that?
Hell and high
So
water.
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
yeah, definitely. So with that being said, I have personal experience with this. Back in 2020, my mom passed.
Mm,
Yeah,
Sorry to hear
so
that, bro.
that's
sorry to
one
hear
of the
that.
reasons. Yeah, I appreciate that. That's one of the reasons I got started in the business, because I felt like the information that we had to share is something that needs to be out in our communities. And because of what I went through, it drove me to want to tell people about that and how it actually works. Because when my mom passed, it was like, well, let me back. So she passed a month after her birthday.
Mm,
I found her in an apartment, and yeah, it was a very
Hmm.
traumatic experience. But from that, uh, at the top of the year, when I was talking to the gentleman that brought me into the business, we had a conversation, and I took a couple of things away from that conversation. The first being, I looked at my life and my life I had with my mom, and I saw a couple of opportunities. One, when I was a kid. So my uncle passed when I was about 7 or 8, and he left me and my dad about $100,000. So split down the middle. My mom took $30,000 of that money and raised me for the next couple of years on that, and then she took the other 20,000 and did what she thought was best, which is put it where we're told to put it, which is a bank. Right. So she took $20,000 and put it into a bank, but it was a new bank. Had been around a long, been around a long time, and uh, a year later the bank closed. Right. So we lost all our money.
So it
wow.
wasn't FDIC insured?
Um, she
You,
she she didn't go into detail because I we had a conversation about that, and but she said that I'm not specific on why we weren't
yes.
able to get our money, but it definitely got lost because over the course of the years until I turned like 18, she was trying to go back and forth and trying to find it, but we never really figured that situation out. Um, but that was like the first experience with it. The second one was, of course, when she passed, and I had to handle all her final arrangements, right? So she had a group term through her job, which group term sucked. Just FYI. But it was it took me like 6 months after she passed to actually get the money from her policy. So what I had to end up doing was going to my family, which we all know that's a situation in itself when it comes to ask a family for money. And but we got it together. We did that. We took care of it, and then, like I said, 6 months later, we were able to finally settle up with the insurance company and get the money, and I was able to, pay for the rest of the arrangements. But it was a process, and then having to deal with that and my mom not being here anymore, it was a lot. It weighed heavy on me.
Definitely.
Yeah, man, I can personally relate to that to a degree. My father passed 2 days before Christmas back in 2017, and he had no insurance, and trying to deal with Christmas and plan for that is not a great experience.
Yeah.
So I can relate in particular to that experience there. So it really sounds like, listening to you saw a possibility of planning things the right way and the actuality of doing things the wrong way.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
I personally had already knew about life insurance, but I didn't know about the other things that come along with it, like living benefits and what an IUL can do for you as far as creating generational wealth for your families. So that was new to me. So when I learned about these things, I was like, ooh, I got to tell everybody because I'm just that type of person. Like, I want all my community to know about how good these products are for you. Um, what was my first impression of joining the organization? I had a blast. I loved it. It was like a no brainer for us. Those things had just happened to us. We already knew about insurance. We have another business already. Um, so like we're in the construction business as well. So for us, we're already entrepreneurs. So a business like this just kind of makes sense. Like, why not? We have a story to tell. We can relate, very relatable to people. So it was just like, yeah, let's do it.
So let's talk about that a little bit. How long have you guys had the construction business?
On paper, 4 years. I've been doing.
No. Wait. No. This show is called Whus Hattnin, right? Keep it all the way 100 with us. How long have you had this business?
I've been doing construction since I was 15.
Okay.
My dad. I started out with my dad. He taught me about about the business and the different skill sets and trades and stuff, things of that nature. So it kind of came naturally to me. So when I thought about entrepreneurship, that was the first thing that I jumped into, and then from there, this just made sense with my story and everything that I had went through, and then me looking at our community and the state of our community's knowledge about wealth transfer tools, wealth accumulation tools, generational wealth, transferring that wealth to our kids, building something for our legacies and our futures. So then that's why we jumped into the insurance piece.
Yeah. It's definitely what the wealthy do all the time. They use it to cover their money, as I like to call it. It's safe. So I'm going to take my business, put it in my insurance policy. My insurance policy, is going to have a trust. My trust is going to have these rules that say that you can't touch this, you can't do this, but all my money is going to funnel through this. So now I don't have to pay taxes because I currently have just an insurance policy. This is not a business. You know what I mean?
And you access that money through tax-free loans. So yeah.
Donald Trump does it all the time. All the time.
So,
smart man.
yeah. Very intelligent.
So
we ain't gonna talk about the other piece.
Go ahead, Fred. You gonna ask a question?
Well, so they touched on a little bit of it, but which one do you prefer, whole life or term?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That is a good question. So it depends on what you're using it for.
Mm-hmm.
So for a term, if usually when we write people terms, it's a budget, either a budget issue, right? Because we want you to have protection, but we also don't want you to break the bank because it doesn't benefit anybody if you're in policy lapses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even though statistically 98% of term policies don't never pay out because everybody outlives them 98% of the time. So in that aspect, if you're looking for something that's going to last your whole life, I would go with a permanent product. If you're trying to if you want protection and your budget's tight, or if you're trying to protect the asset, so like if you're getting a mortgage on a house and you need to make sure that if something happens to you while you're paying that mortgage, that your family doesn't lose your house, you can do that as well. So it's really situational and depending on what you want to get out of it.
Well, I'm sorry. The comments, I don't know how to turn them off because I'm doing the same thing you do. Like, ooh, all these
If you
questions.
want, you can make it a full screen, and then when you make it full screen, you won't see the comments unless Fred highlights them.
So I'm gonna go to. I'm gonna answer just really quick.
Go ahead.
Crystal, some of what you said is true. If you have a life insurance policy that you have cash value on, it can affect government assistance.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a whole life policy that does not um, gain, or a term that does not gain any type of cash value, then that doesn't matter.
Yeah. So when it would affect government assistance, so there's a few ways to access with permanent products which has cash value attached to it. There's a few ways to access that, right? The smart way is to access it through a loan, right? Because well, specifically like with the IUL, it's your money. You don't have to pay it back. Um, but if you access it through the other means, which is you can withdraw the money that you've accumulated, right? So if you take it out of the insurance policy, it then becomes capital gains, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's considered money you earned, right? Versus a loan, which is they're just using your money as collateral and you taking out a loan against the money you have in there, which is different. That makes sense. I hope that helps.
Yeah, so you can have a IUL product and still get government assistance. Fred, to answer your question a little bit more in depth, whole life and term, it's different types of whole life. So it would
Permanent.
which are called permanent products. So for you, it would be more or less of, like you said, what do you want to do with it? What do you want your gains to be?
Okay. So do whole life have some of the same things that like term have, where you have like annuitization, um, where you could do one where you pay in, or you could do like an instant annuitization if you have like a lump sum of money, and it grows interest. You know what I'm saying? It gives payouts once it reaches a certain point. Um, and you can start it before you pass, or you can start it after you pass, and specify who your heirs are, or does whole life have something like that as well?
So with there's four different types of let me just go into this. Four different types of permanent products, right? So you got your GUL, your VUL, your IUL, and then your whole life. The whole life is your traditional product. It's been around the longest.
So real quick, not to interrupt you, but for
Yeah.
those that's listening, so when he say your whole life, I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all can relate to the commercials that you see all the time, where if you're over age or got conditions, or any of those situations, you get like 10 grand for cents on the dollar a day. That's your whole life. Everybody sees, like you say, it's been around for a lifetime. That's that, oh shucks, I found out that mom doesn't have insurance. She's in bad situation. I'm not trying to pay for it. Go get one. You know what I mean? is the best way to explain it. But go ahead.
Yeah. So what you talking about with the whole life product is you can structure them for like just final expense. So just enough to cover your burial and things of that nature. Um the other way you can structure it is forecast accumulation, right? And everything is fixed with the whole life. So your interest rate that you earn with mutual companies, you also have a possibility of earning dividends, and your premiums are fixed as well, right? Compared to your IUL, which has flexible premium payments.
Good luck on the comments in there, AB. Appreciate you, bro. Because I sure didn't know.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah,
we having to speak that jargon so much, we definitely forget. So,
we forget we talk to real people.
Well, I mean, I think that's even when you're talking to real people. I don't think everybody, you know what I'm saying, know or understand even when you're talking to real people. Like, you just gotta always assume that everybody's, you know what I'm saying, is the least intelligent in the room.
So
and that way when you share,
I tell him that
share it with everybody.
So real quick for the podcast listeners, let's put out those abbreviations, those that may not be watching right now, but will listen down the road. What do those abbreviations stand for again?
So
IUL.
I can go through it real quick. So the GUL, which is stands for Guaranteed Universal Life. Then you have your VUL, Variable Universal Life. Your IUL, Index Universal Life, and then your whole life.
And
then yes, of course, your time.
Yeah. So I want to pull it back to you guys for a minute.
Yeah, sure.
Reggie, you said you started doing construction when you were 15.
Yes.
And that stuck out to me because, Nina, when you and I got a chance to talk on the phone briefly, you mentioned that you didn't necessarily have that entrepreneur spirit and that entrepreneur upbringing like Reggie did.
You're absolutely right. I was not the supportive spouse, and I'm glad you said that because I was going to answer one of the questions was anything we saw in the beginning that we would do different. I would have supported my husband sooner because in the beginning we need to get a job. This ain't working.
Yeah.
Like
straight like
we ain't doing it. I don't know what this is. You talking about going to follow your little dreams, baby, but this ain't paying our bills. So in the beginning, that's kind of what my mindset was because I was a worker from the time I was 15 years old until now.
Yeah.
So it was like I needed that consistency. I needed to know, okay, no matter what happens, I'm going to get this paycheck on Friday, or at least 2 Fridays from now. But he taught me the power of my time and how important that is and how valuable it is, and you cannot put a dollar amount on it. So yeah, you're gonna pay me $20 an hour, but I can go do this and make $600 an hour. So you tell me what's better.
That is a bar if I ever heard one, right there.
I mean, it's a true statement, but one thing to say, entrepreneurship ain't for everybody. You know what I mean?
It's not.
It's some ups and downs to it. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be some hard nights. You know what I mean? And Bradley is something that you could understand. It's like being in the sales arena. If any of our listeners are salespeople or deal with sales, you're gonna have a good month and you have a bad month.
Mm-hmm.
But you better say something from that good month.
Yeah.
You don't have a choice in the matter. You know what I'm saying? The way life goes, the way the economy goes, you never can say. So you got to, because some of them bad months can triple down and be there for a few months at back to back versus having what you want to be a good month, bad month, then we go right back to good. That doesn't always happen.
That's right.
And saying that, you said something about the whole life and being forecasted. Is there any any riders or any of those policies that go off of the stock market where you can have your money basically invested into different stocks or mutual bonds that grow higher yields instead of being fixed?
Yes. So that's where your VUL will come in, right? So variable universal life. The cash value in those policies are attached to the stock market, and depending on the carrier that you're working with, you're allowed to some carriers allow you to like self divvy your cash value, so you get to choose and pick and choose what stocks you want to participate in with the VULs.
The IUL is my absolute favorite. I have one for everybody in the family. I do. I love it, man. I'm telling you. But it is tied to the stock market as well. But it's the S&P 500, and what I like about it is, you don't lose anything. So if the stock market goes up, you make money. If it goes down, you're staying flat. You're not going to lose, but you're not going to gain either.
Right.
So I would take that gamble versus what he just said. But that's only because I don't know anything about stocks, right?
Yeah.
So if I don't know anything about the stock, I'm not going to play, that type of money. That's hundreds and thousands of dollars. So we're not going to do that. But, I'll take the IUL and do, I ain't going to lose. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
That comes from your history of liking that sense of security.
Yeah, there you go.
And then Reggie being an entrepreneur, he's like, I'm ready for the risk. What's up?
Yeah.
Let's go. So that literally perfectly balances who you guys are as an entity. That's dope. I like that.
Yeah.
So my next question would be, how do I want to put this? So, okay. With those stocks that you said, you have the one that, is kind of risk-free, and then you have the one that, has risk.
Yes.
Is anybody licensed with FINRA to be able to roll over like 401ks into
Yes.
those policies to, maybe do like a instant annuity policy where, it's already endowed and it's already paying dividends out while it's growing interest?
Yeah.
Based off of your 401k.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. We licensed. We're licensed to do that. So yeah, we do fixed and index annuities. As not so much the variables, but yeah, we cover all the annuities as well.
Okay. So y'all got y'all Security 6?
Yes.
Series 6, not Security.
You mean Series 6? So
yeah, Series 6.
The way it works within the company is, if you're not, how do I want to say this? Your leadership helps you with those type of policies. So because you're a licensed agent, you're able to work with them and get to go through that process, right? So you would sit down with them, they will walk you through that process, and eventually you will be able to do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you would basically leverage them to get it done, right? And you get to see the process as well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So tell me about, you guys have kids, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So let's talk about being
entrepreneurs.
entrepreneurs,
Get those licenses.
as also being and also raising your children at the same time.
I'm gonna let you.
Well, my husband is in a house full of women. We have a total of 6 kids, all girls.
Time out.
He had to stop the.
Dang! I thought I was in.
This is a water. but in spirit, it's a shot for you, bro. Because
Yes, he beats it.
I was about to say I'm about to get me a beer. Shit.
Whee! Go ahead, continue.
So yeah. Two of those children are not in the home day to day. It's, you know, some adopted, I would like to say.
Okay.
But they're ours because we're with them probably
Like 90% of the time they
90%
with
of
us.
the time. In the home every day, it's 3 girls. You have 2 others that are outside, but they're here
Mhm.
often as well. But
Mhm.
it's still all women. You know, he's just
Yeah,
there.
I ain't winning no arguments nowhere, no
No.
time soon. It's okay.
But they range from, my oldest is 16, so they're 16, 14, 15, 4.
How'd that
Uh,
happen?
that's the same. I gotta think about it.
You was
Yeah.
out there. You was out the gate,
4,
homie.
2, 1 month old, and 1 on the way.
What? Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Is that a girl
Hey.
too?
Hey, I
Yes.
guess we know what's been happening, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
all girls. That's what I say. It's just
Yeah.
he ain't winning nothing.
Hey,
Man.
keep shooting, bro.
Look, I'm
Hey,
scared.
hey,
I'm
listen.
scared.
I'm telling you from somebody who used that philosophy. I'm not telling you from, you know what I'm saying, just a spoken word. I'm being honest. I just kept shooting.
Man, I'm telling
Eventually,
y'all,
something got to shake.
Fred was shooting like Russell Westbrook, but he got Fred Jr.
I'm trying to tell you.
Finally, huh?
It finally came.
Hey, that's all that matters.
So,
That's all that matters.
But
so
it's. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, talk about the family dynamic.
Yes, but it's very busy. It's my oldest has a job, so entrepreneurship is great for our family because I don't have a time I have to be anywhere, a time I get off. So my daughter has to be to work at 4 o'clock. If I've been at work since 8, well, it's 3:30. Okay, well, I'm leaving. I'm going to take my baby to work. I can go back to work, or we can just take off for the rest of the day. We can, like, we do whatever we need to do to accommodate our family. If it's more beneficial for us to work at night because this week is really hectic, then that's what we'll do. We'll wait until all the kids are sleeping, and then we'll go do a couple of things like with the construction, because most of our construction work is commercial, so like clubs and things like that. So we can just kind of do at night. When it comes down to the insurance piece, we do a lot of our things over social media. So Zoom, we do in person, but that is scheduled very strategically because
Yeah.
we have the kids. So it has to either be between this and this or this and this. If not, you have to meet us via Zoom.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, Nina, I want you to answer this question
Okay.
because you have the typical background of what we all have, right? Get a job, work hard, it's gonna be all right, right? Um, what do you say? And I guess let me paraphrase. We all seem to be coming into this realization of we got to get our own, especially us in the Black community. We got to
Yeah.
get our own. We got to have a backup plan. We got to own. We got to own the business. We got to own this. We got to own that. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of us are afraid to begin to make the steps to make that jump. You being a person who is literally in the process of making that jump, what advice do you give to that person that's afraid to make a change?
Don't give up and go for it. Go for it. Definitely try to work around your 9 to 5. I don't recommend anybody cut. Oh, I'm gonna quit my job and go entrepreneurship. No, but definitely go for whatever it is that you're passionate about. Because once you start to do something that you enjoy, you're gonna do it at the highest. You know what I mean? Like, I enjoy getting up to go to work in the morning. I enjoy what I do. I love it. So when you love what you do, it's a difference. Versus my previous background was fast food management. I hated it. I was late every day because I didn't want to go to work. I don't want to be here.
We know
You know
that
what I mean?
feeling.
But so now, like, I don't want to do this. But now it's not like that. Oh, it's time to get up. Alarm clock goes off. I'm up. I'm doing my thing, making sure kids are good. Doing school. Whatever. But I will say this: you work harder for yourself and longer for yourself than you do for someone else.
Indeed,
Our
indeed.
days are very long. It can start as early as 6 a.m. and not end until midnight. But I would rather do that for myself than for someone else. That's gonna cap me on how much I can make for that.
Mm. Now, Reggie, this question
Yeah,
is for you, right?
yeah.
What do you say to that? Is my guy AB right there? That's my dog. Reggie, what do you say to someone that says, "I want to teach my kid how to be able to not make the mistakes that I made. I want to make sure that my kid has this good upbringing, this good influence on taking care of themselves and being able to go out and do for themselves in an entrepreneurship." You
Mm.
being a child who grew up in that type of environment, what do you say to that person that's watching or listening?
Um, I would say to them, help them form good habits, right? Because it all starts with good habits, and then make sure they stick to them. Um, I
Set expectations. Sorry.
Yeah, and yeah, set expectations for the good habits, and make them stick to them. Because what I found is the good habits that I started when I was younger, they transitioned over into everything that I've done, and it's always made me either a better person or it's furthered my position in whatever I was doing. Right, so I try to keep those good habits. So definitely form those good habits, and they'll take you far.
I'm gonna just a little bit to that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Pay attention to what your children are passionate about,
That's
because
important.
if if you see that they like music, then let's feed that. My oldest daughter's into nails and hair, so we make sure she has whatever she
Yeah.
needs to feed her passion. So now she's doing hair on the side, she's braiding, she's
Mm.
learning how to do nails, and that was because we watered that seed. We gave her that, hey, you can do this. This is what you like. Okay, let's see if you really like it. Here are the tools.
Mm,
Do it. Are you really going to do it? You know what I'm saying? So, and then now you start to see, okay, well, no, I
yeah.
really don't like that. Let's try something different.
Yeah. Definitely gotta find that, because that's something else. I'm glad you brought that up. Um, Making a decision on what you want to do is hard when you haven't tried it. So trying a lot of different things and seeing if you like it or not. That's a part of it too, right? Because you can't be good at it if you never tried it, and you don't know if you like it if you never tried
And not letting them quit just because they say they don't like it. My my
it.
my middle daughter joined band and decided I don't want to do band anymore. Well, guess what? You're gonna finish it out.
Yeah.
By the time it was over with, she actually loves it. So now we want to do it again next year.
Yep.
So being able to make them stick to whatever it is that they said they wanted to do and stand behind them and be their support.
I agree with you 100% on that. I got a rule in my house. If I sign the line, you might as well just consider that your NBA, NFL,
That's it.
Yep. There you
That's
go.
your contract.
whatever contract you
Yeah.
want. Once I pay my money and I sign my name on this line,
Yeah.
we will
Yep.
not be at week 2 talking about, well, I thought I liked it. Well, guess what? You're gonna
Mhm.
like it for the next 6,
You
8, 10,
okay? You gonna like
You
it
go
until
one
the season is
year.
until
over.
it's finished.
Until it's over. We finish out commitments around here. If we make a commitment, we gonna see it through. Now, next year when it come around to sign up time, I'm gonna ask you, hey, it's that time of year again. What you want to do? And
Yep.
either you're
Yep.
gonna say yeah, or you're gonna be like, let's find something different. Because that's the other thing though.
Yeah.
In my house is you will not do nothing.
There
There
you
you go.
go.
I don't
There you
care
go.
what it is.
Yeah.
Like, my son, he just turned 18, but when he was like 13, 14, I literally walked into his room. He probably thought I was crazy as heck. I was like, hey, look, check it. We need to make you a YouTube, and we're gonna get your headset, You know what I mean? And I want you to start streaming online. He look, bro, you sit in here and play this game all day. It's a possible way to get paid. At least be a beta tester, something.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stream it. You're in here doing nothing. If you don't want to talk to the folks, disconnect your mic and just play. I don't care. But I mean, like you said, if they have a passion or you see them taking active, whatever it is, at this point, you know, back in our day, our parents wouldn't have believed us sitting in front of a game gonna get us paid. So we would have had to go outside to find something to do.
What you said.
But nowadays, you know, yeah, you know what I mean? It's school, job, or look, you better be using your hands somehow. It's not gonna be on no pushing no buttons to them. Not even on no computer, they wasn't going. So, but now we got phones and different things that, you know, if your kids on the phone all day, what are they doing on that phone? Can they possibly, you know, make it something that will make them money? Look into it. I think that's the other thing that I want to add to it really is, as a parent, if you're trying to help your kid get into entrepreneurship or go after their passion, it's going to take research on your end. You're going to have to put in some legwork to help them get there. Even if you're not fully going to do the research, you need to at least say, hey, look, did you YouTube it? Have you found anything, you know, about it? What do you need for it? Do you know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you don't know what you need, how can I help you? So, you know, that part, I just wanted to add that, but I agree with y'all 110% on that. What's up?
What's that question y'all looking at?
So, how much of the service should we allow?
Ooh, great question, Brandon.
Yes, it is.
This is one that's polarizing because there's some people like me. Like I grew up, I grew up poor, and I knew we was poor.
Okay,
but like that also helped me to appreciate. I was like, dang, like y'all really put this together to get me this Super Nintendo. Like that, like it helped me to appreciate that. But some people say, nah, don't let your kids see that. Don't let your kids be worried about the troubles of the world. So I think that this is a matter of taste question. That being said, what's y'all's taste on it? And Fred, I'm gonna let you get in there too.
Fred go. He
okay. You know, I'm me personally, I'm transparent all the way through. But here's my thing to it. It's okay to be transparent and let them see the struggles. The problem I see is the kids want to make those struggles their struggles, and it's not. You can't it's okay for them to see it, but they shouldn't feel it. They shouldn't know that you know what I mean? You can be transparent in showing without making them feel it. They shouldn't have that same pressure that you got in making sure that bill get in before the lights get off. It's okay for them to see how much it costs because they leave the lights on all day and let the game system run while they charging their phone and the tablet going, wait. Now, look, it's light bill $300. But they should never see the lights essentially go off to feel like, oh, is it our fault? Are we the real reason of why this happened? They shouldn't feel that. They shouldn't have no feeling. They should be like, dang, he griping again because the bill $300. I mean, that's a lot though. You know what I mean? But they shouldn't still have no worries to it. You know what I mean? And to me, I think that helps them see. But from an entrepreneur side, what I would say to help them see the struggles in entrepreneurship would more so be, okay, I'm gonna supply them what they need to get off the ground. And they make their money. Hey, Dad, can you take me over here to I want to go to McDonald's, I want to go to Walmart, whatever. Wait. Let's go buy your supplies, and then you can go. Because you need to know what that struggle is, because you might have made just enough for supplies. So if McDonald's and all that might be out the equation at this point.
Yes, yes.
You know what I mean?
That's huge.
So, you know what I mean? I because Brandon, I'm sorry, I didn't know exactly where, you know what I'm saying, which struggles you were saying, but I just figured I would cover on both sides. But that would be my take on it. Y'all can have it now. I'm sorry.
No, you're
No, you're
fine.
fine. You're fine. I like your take. Just to touch on it a little bit, I agree that they shouldn't feel like it's their responsibility, but I do feel like they should be exposed to it because it's realistic, right? So they don't want them growing up having unrealistic expectations of life outside your house, right? Because that's where we headed. So in order for them to have realistic expectations of it, they need to see it, right? They don't necessarily need to handle it like because we handling it, but they need to know it's there. That's how I feel about it. And as far as entrepreneurship, uh, you have to go through the struggles because that's a big part of growing and developing as an individual and furthering yourself. If you're not going through those activities that are going to get you to where you need to be and going through those struggles, how can you get to the finish line if you're not in the race?
That's right. For me, I'm a little different. So my oldest,
See, I be in trouble all the time.
my oldest is
Mama got
16
their back.
and she works. So what I told her was, okay, so she wanted the new iPhone 13, whatever it is, I don't know. And she used her money, she bought it. Okay, so now you have increased the phone bill by $75. So you need to pay that $75. Okay. So when she gets paid, she gives up that money for that phone bill. Because I want you to understand that, you have to pay for what you want and also what you need. She's at that age now, you're working. So what are you doing with your money? You have to be able to replenish, like you said, for your business. You got to have your hair. You got to make sure you have your nail products, your polish, and things like that. And then she wants a car. Okay, so what are we saving for the car? Whatever you save between the time that she started her job and the end of your year, we said we would match it for her and get her a nice car. Please tell them how much money that she saved.
So we was riding in the car because we went to pick her up the other day, and I forget what the conversation was going, but it came up. It was like, hey, we said we were gonna match you when you get a car, and we looking at each other with a serious face, and then we ask her, like, so how much do you have saved up right now? With the straightest face, she's $20. I said,
that's exactly what we did. That's exactly what we.
Sound like y'all need to drive by the buy here, pay here lot so she can understand what $20 is about to buy her.
And she has very expensive.
I just knew y'all was about to say 10,000. Like, we so proud of my baby.
Hey, I was about to say, ooh, y'all didn't step in a hole.
This is where him and I kind of differ, and we get into our little disagreements because my children are very spoiled, all of them. We work very hard to make sure that they have everything they need, along with most of their wants as well. Yeah. He tells me I'm too lenient and I give them too much because she only has $20. Because at the end of the day, we all know by the time she gets driving, she's gonna have a car whether she's saving or not. But he's like, no.
I'm trying to teach him something.
For me, like,
wait a minute. Hey, wait a minute. Let me get this shot because you're not winning no argument with all them girls.
So
this is what I'm talking about.
I'm gonna say like this. I can see where you're coming from. You know what I'm saying, with not letting her get the car, but I tell you what, there is a lesson in getting the car. You know what I'm saying? Either way, she's gonna learn a lesson, and the reason being I say it is because I was blessed and fortunate enough to have my first car bought for me. And then I totaled it. And then I was blessed again for my father to buy, you know what I'm saying, my car for me. And I graduated. And the car needed like $1,200 worth of work. So I sold it for $1,200. You know what I mean? And I sold it to a dealership. So they robbed me, you know what I'm saying? They ain't robbed me. I was dumb. I can't even blame them. But either way, it took me exactly 2.5 years before I got my next one, and that was all me. So it's gonna be a lesson regardless, because regardless of the fact, I could have paid the $1,200 and fixed my car and had a nice, you know what I'm saying, little gas saver. Or I could have went through the struggles of walking and begging friends and folks, hey, I got a license, but I ain't got no car. Can I use your car? You know what I mean? Because y'all only really gonna supply one. It ain't, you know what I mean? After that one, Dad gonna win the first argument. He gonna, hey, look, hold on. I let you win the first one. Nah, she gonna buy this one. She gonna come up with some money this time. And now listen. You know what I mean? So
you're gonna start selling some whole life policies or something like that.
There you go. Look,
one way or another.
She better refer her high school friends' grandparents to somebody.
Hey, look, rollovers on 401ks or something.
Something, you know what I mean? So you know what I mean? Like I get where you're coming from, but at the same time, you can still teach many lessons and get after you get her a car. You know what I mean? Because you can even have a lesson to where, okay, it's your car as long as you here. When you go out there, it's still my car. Your next sibling gonna have this car. That I paid for this car. So you know what I mean? It just depend on which way you want to go. You know what I mean? But definitely, you know, you can throw it out there, but I guess it's a spicy question because she already said ooh, and I ain't had a chance to read it. So you can let the question drop, or you can, you know what I mean?
I missed this. Well, we should read the question for the listeners. With financial freedom,
with financial
freedom also comes individual freedom. How do we set up our children and teach them to bridge the gap of the racial division so that we no longer have to continue living with the pains of our history?
You trying to have a whole nother podcast, ain't you?
Yeah, that's a whole.
She trying. They done had church.
So, wait a second. Hold on. With the financial freedom also comes individual freedom. How do we set up our children to teach them to bridge the gap of the racial division?
Hey, stop. Just stop before and we can tackle that part on this podcast, and we're gonna have to take that last part and save it for another podcast.
Yeah.
So the first part before and is it can be tackled. That will fit this.
What financial freedom? Yes, honey.
You'll probably put me on the spot.
Yeah. He was like, I was hoping you read it through some insight and I could piggyback.
Look, and the best part is she rubbed his back when she said it. Go ahead,
baby. No, for real.
So so basically the question is, how do we set up our children for financial freedom?
I think the answer in the smallest vacuum possible is inclusivity, right? It's inclusivity and it's honesty.
Wait.
What you mean?
You know, what do you mean? That's where I'm going. What do you mean?
Oh, so by inclusivity, see, man, I can't go into this now, man. We already an hour in.
I'm right there with you. That's why I'm kind of like,
look.
So the way I would say the setup for financial freedom is have things in place for them, right? And manage them until they're ready to manage them, but prepare them to manage those things that you have in place for them. Yeah. Right.
I'm glad you said that, because it's always a story that I tell my mom. Okay, he added more context to it, but it's always a story I tell my mom, and dang, it's kind of probably gonna go into this without me reading it. But when I managed a kiosk at Target Mobile, there was a lady that came in with her son. He was like 16, and she was like, "Hey, what age do you guys start hiring? This is my son. I'm a manager of Tractor Supply, and he knows how to read a P&L sheet. He knows how to reconcile receipts. He can manage. He can schedule. Like basically, and I was like, "You said he's 16?" She like, "Yeah." Now, mind you, I done worked my way in a management job and I ain't even seen a P&L until I got into this kiosk, let alone know how to even read this mud. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't work my way up, and this 16-year-old, you know what I'm saying, is able to read the sheet and go through it better than me. And I'm like, God, like, how you know, what school he go to? What, you know, where he learned this from? She's like, no, I just bring my work home and I share it with him. And I have him do it after I show him, you know what I'm saying, how it needs to be done and what I want done. And I always told my mom, I said, you know, one thing us as Black people say, oh, you know, this person got it easier, this person. I said, but the problem is we don't bring our stuff home and teach our kids. You know what I'm saying? Our kids usually have no clue of what we do or how we do it on a day-to-day to make our money. And I said, and that usually is the difference of why we feel like this person got it.
I don't know what just happened to your microphone, bro.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, now we can.
Now we can.
I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times people are like, oh, this person got a step ahead because you know what I'm saying, who their parent was, when in actuality, this person was learning the whole time, you know what I'm saying, at home, outside of it. So I think a lot of time is sharing the information. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm on my dad hard, and I said this in another podcast, but you know, giving back to our kids, teaching them, like you said, how to manage those things or how to do or go about those things so we can leave it to them and they don't feel like, oh, it's just a burden or something that they don't, you know, understand. So they just give it up or do away with it, you know. And
I want to piggyback off of what you just said really quick. Because teaching our kids what we do for a living is very important. We bring our children to work with us often on the construction site. We show them how what they learn in school is relevant to with our construction. I can't say the word, but you know the one word I'm talking about, math. Yes, we use that. I can't. I'll rip it up. You know, mathematics, reading a tape measure, you know, things like that. Like this is why this is important. I also tell my kids that don't believe everything that you hear or that you're taught. Find your own, do your own research. Because we have done that, 2 out of our 3 children have decided to be homeschooled because they feel like half of what they learn is BS. So I think the more open and honest you are with your kids, the more you make what you do relevant to them now and show them how it can help them in their future is going to broaden their horizons on what, you know, how big their dreams can actually become and be.
In doing so, one way, you know what I'm saying, to bring it back and tie it in, it is with life insurance. Share that early. You know, if we start helping our kids out with a policy once they turn 18, we talking like $20 a month until they pass away. You know what I mean? On we talking over $500,000. You get $1 million policy for like $20 a month because they're 18 years old and great health, and
there you go.
And you let it go, and then once they get 30 and they can take it on their own and pay for it, it's still $18-20 a month.
Yeah.
And now you have generational wealth. Now you have, you know what I'm saying, things set in place. And then the other thing, you know, I want to say is make sure you have a will. Don't have your kids trying to fight probate and every person you owe to get your stuff.
There you go.
You know what I mean? And have your beneficiaries and your heirs lined out on who get what and what's what. You know, the whole 9.
Yeah. Sorry, real quick. You can actually start it younger than that. So 15 days after the baby's born, they can actually qualify for a policy. So you can start it when they're baby.
Yeah, you can start it when they're a baby.
And then
generally it's a switch over at 18 either way. You
That's correct.
know, so you know what I mean. Which it trust me, listen, I would hate for that to happen to anybody, but it's not wrong to start at a baby. That's for sure. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. You know what I mean. So the earlier the better. You know what I mean. Whenever you're in
Yeah.
the best
Definitely.
situation to get it going,
Mm.
you know. And one thing you got to have your family on board, and that's grandparents, parents, kids. If something was to happen today, and I lose my income, hey, we got to band together and keep these policies going. Let's whatever we do, keep them policies going
That's right. That's right.
until that person get back on their feet. Loan them that money, give
Mm-hmm.
it to them. Don't let it lapse. Make sure y'all keep it going. You know what I mean? Because that's your generational wealth. That it becomes more problematic, and you're adding more riders and more different things to help keep it going. Once you make it lapse, you're gonna have to take tests and well, you're 40 now. You've had this policy since you were 6, so we need to send you to a doctor and do blood
Yep.
work, and you know what I mean. And now all of a sudden you find out you got diabetes because your regular doctor don't test for all the stuff that they test for. And that's another thing. You want to really know how well and healthy you is, look at a life insurance policy.
I'm telling you,
They gonna
we
check you.
look for everything.
They gonna check you. They gonna let you know. And it's sad to say this, and this is another episode, but your doctor is not checking your primary physician that you go see twice out of the year or 3 times out of the year that's been known you since you was, however old, is not checking for everything. You need to specifically go in there and ask for certain things to be checked if you think, or if you got a history of, because you go do that life insurance policy, they gonna check.
Oh yeah.
So go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna land the plane, so go ahead.
I was just gonna say really quick that it's so many different types, so many different things. Definitely reach out to someone you know. Ask anyone for questions, what you want it to do for you, how you want it to work, because
it's a lot of moving parts.
It is tons of them, and you could get a policy, and then you'd be like, "Well, I thought I had this, I thought I had that." So, just make sure that you're in the right thing. We do that as well. We'll sit down with you if you would like. No cost to you guys or anyone, just to say, hey, can you look over my policy and make sure that it is exactly what I think it is. And the last thing is, please, 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 guys, anybody that is a beneficiary needs to know who you have a policy with, and they need to know where you keep it, because they need that information in case something happens to you. Okay.
Listen, this whole episode was about getting your house in order, right? If you got something that you want to go after, you got one life. Go after it. If you got kids and you want to make sure that they can be the best they can be, get your house in order. Make sure you guide them in that way. And you never know when it might be your last day. That's a sad thing to say. It's a scary thought to have, but it's an absolute thing that's going to happen to every one of us. Everybody listening, everybody watching, everybody talking on this podcast, you will have a final day. Make sure your house is in order so that your family is good when you're gone. Y'all dropped a lot today. Y'all talked about being in business. You talked about the different contrasting backgrounds and how that impacts how you guys think about business and how you prefer to operate in business. Y'all dropped a lot. We appreciate you guys coming to Whus Hattnin and being here. Where can people find you guys if they want to look you up, if they want to reach out, anything to that nature?
I'm on Facebook. And Shanina's on Facebook and Instagram as well.
I'm everywhere.
What's your
My Facebook is my first and last name, Shanina Griffin. Instagram, I am the insurance broker 1.
Okay.
Then you have I'm on TikTok, Shanina Griffin as well. I'm everywhere. Like, you can also reach me personally on my business line at 704
This is a shocker.
387 1325.
Hey, hey, look, that's personal right there.
That
That's great. You know what I mean? Like when
that
when
is
you
my
willing to
business
give your
line.
number out, they like,
Look,
shoot, she for real.
you can only leave messages there. That's it.
Okay.
I will never answer.
Oh
But leave
well.
me a message with your name and phone number, and I check it every day.
I now I got to peel back the covers to tell everybody that when Nina and I talked, and I said, "Hey, there'll be an opportunity for you to leave your contact info," and I was like, you might want to do this. And when I said, if you got like a business number you want to share, she was like, "No, no, 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 no."
I
So,
did. My husband was like, "Why not?" I was like, but
oh,
That's okay.
and I think just right there, your husband said, "Why not?" When you were scared to do it, that's been the whole vibe here. And I think that's just right where that's the perfect spot to just let y'all know we gonna end this show. We appreciate you guys so much. Appreciate you guys for coming. If you
thank
guys
Thank
like
you.
what we do, you're listening to this on the podcast. If you got Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please leave us a 5-star review, 5-star rating, and a review. That helps the algorithm. That helps us to be found for other people to listen to stuff like this. Follow us on all of our social medias. What's happening the way it's spelled on your phone? We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. Fred is Mr.Humble_beginnings on Instagram. I am Brad Robinson 86 or 1986, depending on if you're looking at Twitter, TikTok, or Instagram. Follow us. Check us out again next week, and we will see you guys then. Thank you so much.
Peace.
thank you guys
Thank
for
you guys
having
for having
us.
us.